Do you ever feel like you don't have enough time to read through all of those newsletters or sift through all of the hundreds of articles that are there and find the real ones? Well, I got you covered today with the Apple Car Axe, Apple's double down on AI, Lenovo's transparent laptop, and so much more. If you're new here, my name is Nate, and I'm keeping you informed on the biggest news in tech in 5 minutes or less. If that's what you're looking for, it really helps me out if you hit that subscribe button. Well, according to Bloomberg, Apple will no longer be developing an Apple Car, which is a bummer. They've been working on this project since 2015 and have had several moments where they've pushed the project back and pushed it back and pushed it back, and finally they axed it. The project is over. Disappointing news. However, there's a weird flip side. Also, according to Bloomberg, Apple will be repositioning many of those 2,000 employees working on the Apple Car project to generative AI projects, which is Apple doubling down on this incredible opportunity to relocate these workers, put them on these new projects related to generative AI, and double down on their generative AI efforts. And if you've been paying any attention to what's been going on in the AI world, especially from an Apple's perspective, the last few months, Apple has went really heavy into generative AI, into a lot of different spaces, and just little reports keep leaking out about some awesome stuff that Apple is doing. Other news, Netflix is reportedly going to stop allowing Apple payments. That's kind of a big deal. Those folks who were grandfathered in, who were doing Apple payments back when that was okay, are also going to be losing their opportunity to use Apple payments. And it's just an ongoing fight between these big tech companies, specifically Netflix and Apple, but also Spotify and Apple and some other companies related. Another news, Tesla released new footage of their Optimus robot with improved walking. I'm meant to have that video for you ready, but I don't. I'm sorry about that. But as a robotics guy, it's impressive. It is definitely impressive because bipedal robots are super challenging. But it's still a long way from where they would like to go and for what they've promised. OpenAI moves to dismiss the lawsuit against the New York Times, suggesting that New York Times hacked ChatGPT in order to build its case, which is pretty wild. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all plays out and what details get leaked through this whole process, because that is a fascinating story. And it would be a big deal for OpenAI and Microsoft if they could get this case dropped. Mistral, the French company, just added another model to its API. Mistral challenges GPT-4, and it's almost as good as GPT-4 on most metrics, and has been on the scene for a good few months now, and is definitely looking to take a bigger, what's the word I'm looking for? A bigger punch or hit at companies like OpenAI and Microsoft, those types of companies. So interesting stuff there. Meta announced a super small large language model. It reminds me a lot of Microsoft's Phi model. Use cases for super small models would be things like small robotic devices or small computers, microcontrollers, mobile phones, lots of things like that. Those all make sense to me. And it definitely makes sense to be able to do on-device AI or edge AI, however you want to define it. So that's pretty exciting to me. And finally today, really wanted to throw out there that Lenovo demoed a laptop with a transparent monitor. If you think about it, is a little bit bizarre, because why do you need to see through your laptop monitor? Don't get me wrong. I do think the idea of transparent TVs, transparent monitors are pretty awesome. But why in a laptop? A laptop is something you take with you and you go from place to place. So you can't exactly have a specific need for it that's going to be every single place you go to, right? You'd have to find use cases that apply in all coffee shops, for example, or use cases that apply in all business settings, for example, right? I don't really get that like travel factor of a transparent screen. That being said, it's cool tech and it looks fantastic. And in the demo, they showed like flowers, like actual like flowers behind the laptop. It's like, oh, look, you can see through the laptop. I'm not sure who's like dying to have a laptop they can see flowers on the other side of. So I think there are some really cool use cases, but we're almost over 5 minutes. So I got to end it right here and say, please, really helps me out if you hit that subscribe button.